Hey there, welcome to day 1843 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey as I originally transitioned from the brick and mortar corporate world of business, decades in both owning and operating my own businesses as well as working in corporate America for over a quarter century simultaneously, right? I didn't put decades in one and then decades in the other. I did both at the same time, which is one of the secrets to how I was able to achieve success in different areas that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. Made me a lot less afraid of doing and trying things and sticking with what I believed in, because I knew I always had something to fall back on. So I think it's so important for people to have more than one stream of income, for them to have a side hustle. I don't call it a side hustle, but I call it having another way of having money coming into your life or resources coming into your life so that you're not dependent on just one thing, which many of us, and literally billions of us on the planet, realized the implications of that with the COVID pandemic not too long ago. And it still continues today. And my son-in-law's sister, they were all together for my granddaughter's second birthday on Sunday, and she found out Monday night, Tuesday that she had COVID. So it's still out there. We just have to all be careful, especially if we're more at risk. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and then other people we love and care about. And it's like a lot of other things. It's really not the government's business, but they make it their business because they want to control us. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. My advice is always think for yourself. Always, always, always think for yourself and do what feels right to you. And it's going to be different for each of us. So today we're talking about the SOAP framework in the Get Your Goals annual challenge. We're applying the SOAP framework to the emotional well-being area and aspect of our life. We're talking about what are the options. The O in the SOAP framework stands for options. We need to come up with different ideas and options in order to know how we fill the gap between where we are right now and where we want to be. And that's all about our goals, right? We have to identify what we want and then figure out how we're going to get there. And we can use the SOAP framework as one of the tools that we use to get there. And as we're doing the SOAP framework, we're going to learn a lot of other different tools. Today, our tool for examining options is reverse engineering. Now, being a nerdy engineer, this is right up my alley. And I love reverse engineering. That's probably where I got the idea to go through businesses backwards to look at their processes and systems and find the holes and the leaks and the things that we could do better in those businesses. But reverse engineering just means we look at the result that we want and then we find ways to get there. And we think of possibilities and options of how we can get there. And instead of, I think the most powerful part of this is instead of focusing on the problem and where we are right now, which we don't like, we're focusing on the solution and the outcome that we want. And that always moves us toward it faster than if we're focusing on what we don't want, because that moves us toward that. Our idiom to kind of go along with this today was necessity is the mother of invention. Great idiom, right? Love this idiom. It's attributed to Plato as well as sometimes Sophocles, the poet, but it dates back to ancient Greece, of course. And it means that when we're faced with a problem or a challenge or a setback or an obstacle or something that isn't going the way we want it to, we get really creative and innovative in finding solutions to that problem. And no more so than in running and growing and building and supersizing a business do you get to practice that, usually on a daily basis. You get to practice being innovative and creative and solving problems on the fly. And then I talked about in that, which was kind of fun, just to look up the 10 biggest inventions that have impacted mankind thus far. Because unlike other people, I don't think we're done inventing things yet. I think we're going to continue to invent and innovate and create for all time. So they were wheel, the ability to cast metal and iron and things and create different things like nails and screws and tools, the compass, printing press, engines, the telephone, light bulb, penicillin, contraception, and the internet. And I would agree with all of those. Guys shared in Supersize Your Business. I had experience with all of those things, and I can't imagine my life without them. I probably have 10 kids, right? No. So that's what I'm working on today for content. Still no new grandbabies, so getting nervous and anxious about that, as I'm sure my daughter is. If I can help you in any way, ask. Working on a couple new projects with new a new groups of people, which is always fun. But if I can help you, just ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.